Welcome to the June 20th, 2024 meeting of the Revitalization Trust Fund. We are meeting remotely as permitted by law for open meetings. And we will, the community is welcome to be able to attend the meeting, but not necessarily participate directly in the meeting. But we are always open to be able to have people ask us questions and observe. So with that, we will kick off the agenda.
5:01 p.m.
At 5:01 p.m.
Yeah.
So we start with being able to approve the April minutes. I ask that we have a vote to approve the minutes from April 2024. It is hot.
Yeah.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, aye, aye. Okay. We are officially approved for the minutes for April. Just as an acknowledgement that there was no meeting in May, but we are meeting here obviously in June, and our regularly not scheduled meeting is July anyway. So there will be no meeting in July, but we'll be back here in August to be able to continue working together and creating new cool things in the world. So next, the update on the Burt Wilkstrom bench, that the bench is ordered. And now we've even put in a request to ask if there's any way that they can speed up delivery for it, because Sandy's son is coming over from Sweden, where he lives, and he leaves by the end of June. So she would really like him to be able to see the bench. That puts it at about a 5 or 6 week, I'm sorry, end of July. That puts it about a 5 or 6 week turnaround time, maybe 8 weeks at the outside. So depending on exactly when, I submitted the order, but then it takes a few days for them to do things, right? So anyway, we're hoping that they can be able to get the, some priority to be able to help make this happen, because she'd love to be able to have her son here when we dedicated the bench. So that's the scoop with that. The Mitchell School bench that I heard from the sponsor just the other day, and actually just emailed him again today just to check. He was inquiring about, so I basically, he wanted to be able to start to get things wrapped up. I said, all we'd have to do is just basically have the money hit the account, and the order will go in and we'll get started. So he's working on that right now. So hopefully within the next week, we'll be able to order the second bench, the one for the Mitchell School, which will be cool. The third, I'm going to jump around here a little bit, but the third bench, which is the one for Catherine Booney's mother, which is the granite bench for Amity Path. That one is in process. I talked to them a couple of days ago, and they said that they are going to shoot for the middle of July to be able to deliver that. And so as soon as I get a confirmation, then we'll be in touch with Park and Forestry, who are going to help coordinate getting it into the Amity Path and placed at the location. So that's very exciting. And one of the things that's also, really interesting about this particular project is that they're also installing or pre-cutting the spot where a 4x6 plaque will be installed into the side of the stone that at whatever time that Catherine's mom passes away, as basically a last tribute to her also. but she's still alive and kicking and enjoying her life and doing all kinds of good things. So the plaque won't get installed until after that time, but it's all prepared for it. So there's no more work to be done to the stone other than installing the plaque at that time. All right. We did receive the $400 from the NCAC, so that's all accounted for now. We have another one that we were awarded that we're also working through the process to be able to get the funds received, and I think JP has the thing down now, so.
Yep.
So now we know what the procedure is to be able to actually, to get the last step of the process, which is to be able to just have the funds that get sent to be received correctly into the fund. So anyway, thanks to JP, we have that one in the fund, and that's fantastic. Update on the Needham from Needham to the World, that we have a wonderful sponsor, which is basically Steve Bronfman and the Potter's School at Gorse Mill, and they were very excited about being able to to sponsor it. And so right now he's working on collecting some of the artists to be able to donate to it, because the upcoming one, of course, is NC Wyeth. So we thought that they would be a perfect opportunity to be able to potentially sponsor this one. So that's in process. We'll basically have the funds collected for that just before the production of the mural. So we'll be fine as far as that goes. And we're also need to start reaching out to friends of Charlie Baker to be able to see what the opportunities might be for sponsorship for his, which would show up in November. So any connections you have, any people you know that might want to be able to do something to help sponsor the Charlie Baker one, that would be awesome. Let me know, and we'll keep it rolling.
What is the
Got some
price?
feelers on that.
Great. The each one of the From Needham to the World are $1,295.
$12.95?
Yeah.
Okay.
Paul, do we have a date in mind for the unveiling of NC Wyeth yet?
Yes, actually, I just was in touch with. That's the next thing on here, is that it's going to be Saturday, July 13th
Okay,
at 10 a.m.
10 a.m. Okay.
And she's reaching out to another family member who might come from, I think, New Jersey, because she's hoping that he'll be able to come. Amy will be there, and right at the moment we're working on to see if we have I didn't get a chance to call them today, but we put in a request 2 or 3 weeks ago to the Needham channel and to Gloria to see if they would be able to put together a video that would tie to the QR code. If not, we'll come up with another video that will link to it. But obviously, it's great if the resources of the Needham channel and Gloria can create something that's a lasting memory for this. So that's basically where we're at. That should, we have the sponsorship. We are with the mural has been sent to Speed Pro for production, and they will be producing it sometime between now and the end of the month.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So just so you know, Paul, I did contact the gentleman that you suggested, involved with the NC Wyeth library. And I'm drawing a blank on his name right now, but we did talk by phone.
Mike Neiden.
Yeah, and I sent him, I emailed him what I had collected and given to Seymour, and said, if there's more you want to add or anything you have in mind, just let me know. I never heard anything back from him. At this point, I'm assuming I should just leave it alone. I don't want to, throw a kink into the production at this late point, if you think that's, I I thought about following up with him, but then I was like, we might be so close to the end right now that I don't want to make life too difficult for Seymour by suddenly throwing things at him that, he wasn't planning on. But in any event, for what it's worth.
Yeah, no, that's great. And
Yeah.
I have talked to
Great.
Mike I don't know, but I don't know what the sequence of events was, but I had talked to Mike within the last week or so, maybe,
Okay.
and sort of caught him up to date as to where we were at. I think that so that may be the reason he didn't get back to you, is
Okay.
because basically the entire the mural is finished.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
yeah,
All
so
right.
we're good to go. But any of the other resources we have, if there are other things that we can, expand on in terms of related to NC Wyeth, or there may be things that the Needham Channel or Gloria might need to use as resources, then
Hmm.
pass them on to them to use if they need it.
Okay. And yeah, just so everyone knows, I do have a couple people now at the NCAA that have been really helpful with pulling together material for Charlie Baker for the November mural. It was too
Nice.
soon. It was too quick to try to do it for July, obviously, which is why I changed gears to NC Wyeth, which I can't wait to see NC Wyeth. I think it's going to be a gorgeous, just because the images are so beautiful. Um,
And I think it was
but
brilliant also because it's a perfect follow-up from
yeah,
Dennis Zerngable. So
yeah, it is. It's like we're following the family tree. But
yeah.
but yeah, no, I have a couple of people now at NCAA who have been really helpful with Charlie Baker. They asked, they're going to have their communications people, or Charlie Baker's gonna have his communications people review the bio and maybe make some changes. I invited them to add some more about his current position at NCAA, which obviously there's a lot going on right now with new rules about athletes being able to be paid at the college level. And there's just a lot going on, but I didn't know enough about it to really, and there wasn't enough online about it to really add much of substance. So I invited them to do that. And he also sent me some great photos, which I showed to you already, Paul, from his childhood, and also the two houses that he lived in while he was here, which I was hopeful were still standing and hadn't been knocked down, but I drove by them and they're both still standing. So those are kind of nice. Nice photos too, and just pictures of him and his brothers, and and they're gonna try to pull together some more. And I've got others, from different events over the years. So I think that'll be a good one too. So I just wanted to let everyone know where we were with that. They did ask me, when would you like everything done? And I said, by the end of July, I think would give us enough time to review everything and add or subtract or whatever,
Great.
and still give us plenty of time to pull everything together by November. So I think that'll be a pretty good timeline.
No, I think that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
And always being able to ask farther in advance than we really need,
Hmm.
just in case we find out that we actually need the time.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so, so that's great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, great work. And I'm excited about I'm really excited about the NC Wyeth one because the things that you pulled together and Gloria and Amy Wyeth, pulled together for this thing. It's got some pretty cool stuff in it. So I think
Yeah.
people are going to get a kick out of it.
Yeah, so
And
my brother, when he was little, one of his favorite books was Treasure Island, and I have this like picture in my head of some of those photos of the illustrations that he did for Treasure Island. So it was kind of sweet for me to see those and include them. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be really beautiful.
no, that's great. And it's also a thing that I didn't realize was that Gloria has copies of most or many of the books that he illustrated right there at the History Museum. In fact, she's got a shelf that's got like a half dozen. They're all in one area there. So it was great when I went to take photographs of some of the books with some of the illustrations that we were able to add to the mix. And it was really fun looking through, and I just look at the detail
I
and
know, they're gorgeous.
he was just such an incredibly talented artist.
Hmm.
And that I mean, I had seen some of his paintings and thought they were, obviously really great, but when you see some of the illustrations and the fine detail that he had put into these, was it Gloria, I think, was telling me that that NC said one time that when he does an illustration or a painting, he said that he gets so emotionally connected to what he's creating that after it's done, he's literally exhausted.
Mhm.
And you can see the energy and the power that's when you look at the way that, the pictures of the horses as they're up on, 2 feet, and the way they
Mhm.
move, sort of the expression of their face, and you look at some of the things where particularly where there's action, or one of the ones where it's, soldier just standing there and you're only seeing him from behind, but you get this feeling of sort of loneliness and isolation that he must be feeling as he's just walking down this road
Mhm.
by himself. So it's really wonderful that we have an opportunity to be able to do this, and just as wonderful that he grew up here in Needham.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, it really is. It's great.
Yeah. Also, just thinking ahead, as far as from Needham to the World goes, that we'll start thinking about the next round, so the 2025. So if you have people who might be interested in being able to be a sponsor for these, we'll all continue to talk it around and see if we can get. Obviously, ideally, what we'd like to do is to sell out the 3 ones for 2025 as early as we possibly can, so that we have all 2025 already in the in the coffers, so we can get the creation part of it done without having to worry about the funding. So, and so that's been great. Any other comments from the end of the world or anything related to that?
Nope, that's it.
Great. Let's see, I told you about the Booney Bench. The Needham Heights banner project that we're just basically waiting for the committee that's doing the reevaluation of the town seal and the fonts and that kind of thing to be able to basically get back to us with whatever their conclusion is. I talked to Amy Halson maybe a couple of weeks ago. I'm just, hey, is there any update? And JP, if you have any knowledge of this also, that'd be great. But just, as soon as we can, there's nothing really on our banner that would be really, it doesn't have a town seal, it doesn't have, but it does have lettering. And so if there was something that we could do to align the lettering, that would be great. And obviously if there's something that has to do with the color of the banner, that we want to know that right away also, because we need to know how it matches to what the sunbrella equivalent would be. And I had suggested to I believe it was to Amy, that when they choose the color for the background color, that they use something along the lines of use the sunbrella chart as a reference when they're trying to make nuanced changes, because these would basically will go up probably on banners and other types of material throughout town, and you want to be able to be as aligned as you can to the colors that are consistently available to be able to do that. I mean, it's obviously not the only criteria for choosing the color, but if you're getting down to nuance, I just suggested to try to lean it one way or the other and make it that way. So, JP, you have any updates or feedback on that?
I know that they've been having some meetings on it. I don't know exactly where that they were. on it. I know they're like had narrowed it down to a couple choices, and then the next step, I think, after they narrow everything down, there's going to be like a public thing where there's going to be a couple choices for people to kind of decide on the final, like think like colors as well as like just few things. So I think that's just when the last I talked to Amy, that was supposed to come out in a few weeks, but we really haven't had any time. I've asked Amy a lot of questions, but it hasn't been on that.
Well, this period right now has a lot of things that are all either starting or you know are the holiday related, like Juneteenth and you know Need and Pride and all the, I mean, there's a whole variety of different things that are all happening around town. The opening of the pool, you know, so there's no shortage of things that I know you guys are working with on top of all the regular stuff that you do consistently. So, yeah, if you can just help keep us in the loop in terms of that, so we could make whatever modifications we need to, and hopefully, you know, be the first introduction of a public display of the new stuff. So, and you know, add something really, you know, beautiful and interesting to the Heights.
Pretty much so. Be very nice once it's done.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. One of the things that we wanted to just give you an update on, that as you recall, that we went to the Historic District Commission with some examples of what the town common boxes could potentially look like for the wrap, the art wrap. And we've been working with Park and Forestry and the Historic District Commission to be able to you know, to work through that project. So it's something that would really align with the idea of being able to be really upbeat and positive, but also look like it's an integrated part of the common itself, as opposed to just having basically, you know, art pieces that are on the different, you know, boxes. We wanted to have something that would look more like it has risen out of the garden. So as they put it, so that when you look at the common, that the first thing you look at is not the boxes, but you look at the common, and then from there you know, take in other additions to the gardens. So that's basically the focus that we've had in terms of being able to create it. We've got a design based on that discussions with the commission and understanding, you know, that perspective. And we're now basically doing some of the preliminary work to be able to just validate the design with Gloria, who is on the Historic District Commission. And then if necessary, we'll go back to the commission itself. They had said that, you know, you know, if we follow exactly what they were, you know, in line with concept wise, that they were fine with it. But we always want to make sure that they're, you know, once you see the result, that you're still fine with it, because no matter what you know, what happens, that, and then of course, Kate and the select board, since if there are any inquiries that will come from it, then that's where it's going to go. So we don't want anybody caught off guard in terms of it. They all need to be part of the loop to be able to get the final, you know, the final okay. So that's basically the scoop on that. And JP, do you know anything about our potential member for the NCRTF?
I know Miles was scheduling the interviews just because of everything that's going on. He's probably going to send out the invites in July and then go from there. So probably the first or second week of July. He is actually he's in the Air National Guard, so he has some training next week that he's got to go to. He's going to that, so as he said, the worst possible time. So as soon as he's back, I know everything is going to get scheduled. And next week, I am going to try the very big shoes of being Miles. So we'll see how it goes.
There you go. Well, you'll be able to empathize with him even more.
Yeah, exactly.
She's a very bright gal.
Uh, Miles, yeah, the
Yeah.
guy, yeah. The, let me see, make sure we got everything on the agenda here. I think we've covered, what we have here, unless people have any other additional agenda items for today's meeting. Any other news from the town in terms of upcoming things, JP?
I'm trying to think if there's anything that's. I mean, just some of the stuff for the fall stuffs are starting to get planned, like, the chamber event and. We're actually just starting to do some of the stuff for Christmas, so, and the holidays.
Well, I know where the season's greetings banners are, so.
Yeah. Yeah, like just like I've never had to do like the planning for stuff like this. It was always handled a lot of, so I'm getting a crash course in it. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, Harvest Fair is always obviously
yeah,
a great event. And and it'll be interesting to see if there is ever a rebirth of Needham New Year's or anything along those lines. But yeah, no, the town, and also just wanted to say that it's wonderful to see the tent back up on the common. So it looks great. And what was the one thing though? Could you remind me, who was it that was filming in downtown over the last week or two?
the MBTA. They were doing a commercial for the MBTA.
That's what it was. Okay. Yeah, I remember hearing something about it, but I couldn't remember who it was that was
Yeah,
actually.
that was a whole crash course. Like from what was originally when they talked to Miles, it was a much bigger project than what we had imagined. So there were definitely a lot of people out there.
Yeah, yeah. And it was, I walked by at one point where they were, where the actors were, performing in front of the stores there. And I was like, hey, this is great. The more people that get to see some of our shops in the downtown, the better it is for, for our merchants. So, I
JP,
think
maybe you can share that with us when it goes live.
yeah,
I will absolutely. Yeah, I'll send it out.
great. All right. Well,
Yeah.
anything else? Otherwise, on this incredibly hot day, we can certainly finish early.
Yeah.
Stay in
Enjoy
here.
your air conditioning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is 5:30, 5:28.
5:28.
So
528.
excellent. Okay. Well, thank you all. Enjoy the summer officially kicked off today. I was confirmed with that with Amy's newsletter that mentioned that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I hope you have a fantastic summer. We will catch up with each other again in August. We will send out the date. Well, actually, I think we already booked the date for
We did.
August. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to look. Let me take a quick look at that just so
Yeah.
we have it. I think Carol has it on the calendar right here.
Hopefully.
I'll check my calendar.
22.
August 22nd.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see you again back on August 22nd. And hopefully with a lot of relaxation, a little tan, and a lot of good stories. So
Exactly. Have a good summer.
yes,
Yeah, you as well.
so I move to adjourn the meeting of the Revitalization Trust Fund for the month of June 2024. Do I have a second?
Second that.
All in favor?
Hi.
Bye.
It's official. Thank you, JP, and thank all of you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Enjoy your
everyone.
July.
Bye.
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 Bye.